Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It helps. It really does. Hello, Fu family. It's good you're here. Have you ever clicked on a video with a title like Top 50 Greatest Kung Fu Films? But the list mainly consists of movies like Jackie Chan's Police Story or even Tony Jaa's Ong Bak.
So I did, but I was lying.
If you're anything like me, then your reaction would be,
That really is extremely funny.
as iconic as those films are, they are most definitely out of place on a list bearing that title. Hopefully we can clear up the unnecessary confusion by clarifying the sub-movie genres within the martial arts movie genre. We will attempt to, with this video, keep our explanations as brief and informative as possible. The martial arts movie genre is of itself a subgenre of the action movie genre. A martial arts movie is basically a movie where the story is mainly driven by one or more fights that are central to the plot and storytelling. Some examples of martial arts movies are the aforementioned Police Story and Ong Bak, as well as Van Damme's Bloodsport, Seagal's Above the Law, and even Stallone's Rocky movies. Let us now list the three main martial arts movie subgenres. Wuxia movies. The word Wuxia literally means martial heroes. In these movies, the heroes were usually experts with the sword and possessed almost supernatural abilities and skills. They were usually on some mission of revenge or atonement. The very first Wuxia movie was, as a matter of fact, the first martial arts movie, The Burning of the Red Lotus Temple, which was first serialized from 1921 to 1928 and then adapted and released as a film in 1928. Fun fact, those early films would have the male hero played by a female dressed as a man. Then, in 1965, Shaw Brothers Studio produced a film widely considered by many to be their first Wuxia movie, Temple of the Red Lotus, and its sequel, The Twin Swords. There would be a third movie in 1967, The Sword and the Lute. All three films would star future superstars Jimmy Wang Yu and Lo Lei. In 1967, future legendary director Chang Che would team up with Jimmy Wang Yu and Shaw Studio and release the record-breaking classic film, The One-Armed Swordsman. The success of this movie would take Wuxia to unprecedented heights, and it would remain there for many years to come. In 1970, a movie named The Chinese Boxer, later released in the West as The Hammer of the Gods, and starring Jimmy Wang Yu, exploded onto Hong Kong cinema screens. The concept of this film was quite different from the typical Wuxia movies that were being made at that time. The story was a simple one of revenge, and the hero was an average man with an extraordinary kung fu fighting skills, who was forced into defending and avenging the oppressed. The audiences loved it. The kung fu action movie was born. 1 year later, in 1971, the landscape of martial arts cinema would forever be changed with the release of the movie The Big Boss, starring Bruce Lee. The kung fu action in this movie was unlike anything anyone had seen before. There were no gimmicks to the fights. It was all done naturally. With this and his subsequent films, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, and Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee not only cemented his legacy in kung fu action cinema, but he also forever established the popularity of martial art movies on a global scale. Following the untimely passing of Bruce Lee in 1973, Hong Kong movie studios quickly scrambled to find a new heir to the throne. To them, the survival of martial arts cinema was at stake. What transpired after the death of Bruce Lee had never happened before or ever since. The exact figures are not known, Some say hundreds, others swear thousands of Bruce Lee imitators known as clones flooded movie theaters with movies that would become known by the moniker Bruceploitation films. Needless to say, none of them would come close to the original. The future of martial arts cinema was indeed uncertain.
Right. Something else. Let's see you try the water technique. Ha! Ha! Ha!
After many years of declining box office numbers, the Hong Kong movie industry was in desperate need of something spectacular that would bring moviegoers back to the theaters in large numbers. In 1978, their prayers would be answered in the form of a movie called Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, starring Jackie Chan. This film would give us an underdog hero, one who possessed no fighting skills, and pit him against a ruthless villain who is a master of Kung Fu. Throw in an old teacher who teaches the young man Kung Fu, and infuse comedy into the fight scenes. Those ingredients would give us what would become known as Kung Fu action comedy. The Hong Kong movie industry became revitalized upon the release of Snake in the Eagle's Shadow and the follow-up Drunken Master, both in 1978 and featuring almost the same players, both in front and behind the cameras, utilizing the same winning formula that the audiences willingly gave their blessings to. Almost immediately, the Hong Kong movie market was flooded with films using the same formula. Some would be more successful than others, but what was most important was moviegoers were satisfied and were spending their money to see these movies.
Well, that's good. We'll settle things. Now you're here.
The three subgenres that we briefly covered are considered to be the most popular in martial arts movies. However, there are others that we plan to cover in a more in-depth video sometime in the future. Some of those subgenres are samurai, Shaolin, ninja, karate, and gun fu, all of whom coexisted alongside the main three subgenres.
Good. You're an extremely astute fellow. We can stop pretending. They are my personal guards. They're very interested in your skill, too. And so they'd like to test you.
Going forward, I sincerely hope that this video helps you with the classification of the different subgenres in martial art movies. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and feel free to leave a comment. Thank you, and may the Fu be with you.